This average rate question is going to be a little bit more interesting and a little bit more involved. So let's take a look at breaking it down from what we've got written here. A hiker walked for 2 days. On the second day, the hiker walked 2 hours longer at an average speed of 1 mile per hour faster than he walked the first day. So what we can do from here is just take this, break it down. Distance 1 is going to be rate 1 times time 1. And then the first day, and then we find that the second day, so distance 2, is going to be time 1 plus 2 in hours. And of course that cancels out to just miles. So if we expand that out, just use FOIL, we're going to get rate 1 time 1 plus 2 rate 1 plus time 1 times 1. So it's just time 1 plus 2. And that is going to be our D sub 2. Now, if we go back to the question, if during the 2 days he walked a total of 64 miles, so we know that D1 plus D2 is equal to 64 miles. And we know that he spent a total of 18 hours walking, so we know that T1 plus T2, of course, is 18 hours, okay? So what we can do then is just substitute in our values. So we've got T2. Of course, remember, we know that T2 is going to be T1 plus 2 hours. So what we can do is just sub that in here. T1 plus T1 plus 2, or 2T1 plus 2, is going to be 18. So T1 plus 1, just divide both of these by 2, is going to be 9. So T1 is 8 hours. And then for the second part, we've got D1 plus D2 is R1 T1 plus the D2, which is what we have here. So that's going to be R1 T1 plus 2 R1 plus T1 plus 2 is going to be 2 R1 T1 plus 2 R1 plus T1 plus 2. All we have to do then is put all this in. We've got the T1 is 8, so that's going to give us, if we multiply this out, that'll be 16 R1 plus 2 R1 plus 8 plus 2, and that's going to give us 16 R1 plus 2 R1 plus 10. And remember, of course, D1 plus D2, because we're told here is a total of 64 miles, so that's going to be 64 is equal to 16 R1. So let's just combine all this now. So we get 18 R1 plus 10. And then, remember, we're told 64 miles is the total distance, so that's D1 plus D2, of course. So 64 is equal to 18 R1 plus 10. So 54, of course, is going to be 18 R1, and that gives us R1 is 3. And we can assume, of course, because it's a rate, that that's going to be in miles per hour, given that we're working in miles per hour. And so that is your answer, B. So this question is quite a bit more involved, but as long as you're conscious of the information that's given in the question, the things that you need to substitute and when you need to substitute, the most important thing is really just figuring out, okay, we've got our total distances, we've got our total distance, we've got our total time, they're given to us as numbers. We need to figure out, okay, well, what is the D1 relative to D2? What's the T1 relative to T2? And then just plug everything and make sure that the equations work out. So as long as you can figure out what each one is relative to the other, then you'll be absolutely fine.